Welcome to another webinar. Today's webinar is called How Fat Loss Starts in the Fridge. Pretty much how to revamp your kitchen and revamp your results. And at the end of this whole webinar, I'm gonna give you like a whole grocery list on for like what I usually go for when it comes to just going to the grocery store because you don't want to waste time in the grocery store. Fun fact is that grocery stores are designed so that you stay there longer and you kind of buy the foods um, that aren't even healthy for you, right? So like for example, if you go to any grocery store, the milk section is like there are days when you only need milk, and then the freezer section is or like the freezer, not the fridge section is super deep into the grocery store. And what happens like you go through the whole grocery store and then you end up buying more than what's needed, right? Which is not the healthiest thing most of the time, right? And also if you end up going to the grocery store for milk, you end up coming out with like a lot of groceries. And that's what we don't want. We just want to just buy the things that we need, okay? And at the end, I'll supply you with an actual grocery list on how to keep the fat off, right? It's honestly the same grocery list I use on a weekly basis. Okay? So pretty much it's gonna be different. Like this call is gonna be different from like actually talking about reps or strength or mindset. We're just talking about your fridge. And the way your kitchen is stocked is going to tell me more about like your mindset more than your MyFitnessPal log ever could. Like your fridge is a mirror. It reflects how you think, it reflects how you plan, and how much you prioritize your goals even when life gets super busy or stressful. So if your fridge is like empty or chaotic or filled with impulse, like snacks, that's a big giveaway. Okay, and tonight we're gonna go over that. Um, this is about building an environment that makes fat loss super easy. Not because it relies like so that you don't have to rely on willpower every day. Because the truth is, most people don't fail their diet in the gym or at restaurants. They just fail in their own kitchen. So here are four reasons why you're probably here right now. And reason number one is you feel like you're doing everything correctly. Like you're tracking, you're working out, but something's off. Like you're hitting these roadblocks every week, especially at night or on weekends. Reason number two is you'll keep on saying you'll start fresh on Monday. But Thursday or Friday, you've lost momentum and find yourself on Uber Eats again, looking for comfort food, something that's super easy, something that's super convenient, right? And it's an endless cycle of saying, I'll start fresh on Monday. So reason number three is you open the fridge and you either feel overwhelmed or disappointed. So there's stuff in there, but nothing you want or something that you can like easily put together, right? Reason number four is you want fat loss to feel automatic, not a constant battle of decision making, um, and cravings. So if any of these hit home for you, put a two in the Zoom chat right now. Okay, so these are just patterns, they're not personal failures. And tonight is about understanding the root cause of those patterns so that we can rewire them at the source. Okay, so the real problem isn't the fridge. Okay, so let's talk about what a messy and chaotic understock fridge actually means. So these five hidden issues are often what block women from actually making progress way before a workout or even a calorie actually happens. So number one is emotional eating. Like if your fridge is packed with treats, sauces, snacks, but no real meals, it's a big red flag. This usually means like food is being used as a mood stabilizer and not for actual fuel, right? The second problem is like your lack of preparation. So if you have ingredients but no meals, or just random groceries you don't feel like cooking, it's honestly a recipe for takeout. You're going to rely on the Uber Eats again, okay? The absence of ready to eat protein or cooked carbs just leads to overeating processed and highly greasy foods, right? So if you're not prepared, you're just going to do whatever is convenient and yummy, right? Which is away from what you want to be, right? Number three is like this all or nothing mentality. Like if your fridge swings from like ultra clean to totally indulgent every other week, you might be in that binge restrict cycle, which a lot of people are in nowadays, right? You go too hard and then you burn out and you crash and overeat again. And then it's an endless cycle of that, right? Eating healthy, you hate like you eat healthy, you hate eating healthy again, you crash, and then you result to eating Uber Eats. And it's honestly an endless cycle. Okay. So reason number four is your impulse buying. Like if your fridge reflects cravings, not actual structure, you don't have a plan. Grocery trips are based on how you feel in the moment, right? If that sounds like you, put a three in the Zoom chat right now, right? And your grocery trips are based on how you feel and not on your actual goal, which is to lose weight. So reason number five is this environmental sabotage. So lastly, if your fridge is full of other people's snacks, like your roommates or your partners or your or kids' junk food, but none of your fat loss staples, you're going to be drowned by your environment. Okay. But luckily for you, I have this whole grocery list that I'm going to show you shortly. Okay. So this is where we can take control of the environment and make your fridge work for you and not against you. So there are three core principles for building a fat loss friendly fridge. So number one is visible over hidden. So you want to keep your protein and your produce at eye level. So like if you see your grilled chicken, your fruit, or your hummus, you're more likely to eat them, right? You want to push the treats away from eye level, okay? And or like maybe in the drawer, right? That's something that you could do shortly, right? Super easy fix. More nutrient dense foods like right at eye level, and you want the naughty treats like somewhere else where you're unable to see them. But you still have those naughty treats, of course, right? Principle number three is ready over raw. So you want to have at least like one to two ready to eat meals, or ready to eat components. Like for me, I always have like some sort of chicken or ground beef ready to eat. So those are my proteins that are always ready to eat. Same as the veggies as well. Like I like to have some bagged vegetables always available to eat. So I don't have to think about um setting it up or like cooking it. Right? It honestly just takes like me just pouring the veggies into the bowl. Right? Or like if chicken or beef is available, all it needs is just like a minute of microwaving. Right? And the carbs I always have available is always going to be rice or bread. It doesn't have to be too crazy. Okay. And that's always going to be in the fridge. Um, so it's pretty much setting you up for success, right? So if your meals take 45 minutes to cook, you're honestly going to default to snacks or Uber Eats, right? But if your meals are ready to go, boom, you're going to be eating that stuff. Okay, more nutrient dense stuff. The chicken, the rice, the roasted veggies, the bagged salads, right? So you always want to make sure that your fridge is stocked with ready to eat components. Okay. So number three is balanced or boring. So fat loss is not about eating plain food all the time like a freaking robot or punishing yourself, right? You need flavor. Like you need texture. You need even a couple of treats to keep you satisfied. Because if you didn't have those things on your fat loss journey, it's going to be so hard to survive this fat loss journey. And I'm going to repeat, it's a journey, right? It's a long period of time. And if you don't have these treats, I guarantee you you're going to give up in like the first 2 weeks. Okay? You're gonna dread every meal. Your willpower is going to run out, right? So the goal is not to have a perfect fridge. It's to have a prepped fridge, a balanced fridge, and a realistic one that keeps you fit for the rest of your life, right? And that's how women stay, like, that's honestly how women stay consistent for 3 or 6 or 12 months straight because they have the proper balance. And I always say this in like my posts, it's like the 80-20 rule. So 80% nutrient dense foods, 20% whatever you want, the naughty foods, right? So today I'm going to share with you my grocery list. And you always want to keep your fridge stocked with these things. These are must-haves for your fridge, not for just one perfect week, but for the rest of your life. And these are staples that keep me and my clients consistent, satisfied, and on track with our fitness goals. And you're also going to notice that the whole thing, 90% nutrient dense foods, 10% naughty foods. So there's always going to be room for flexibility in there. Okay, so the easiest way to do this is you want to choose 5 veggies. Okay, so when you go to the grocery store, you always want to have 5 veggies in mind. So for me, it's always broccoli, cauliflower, tomatoes, cucumbers, and zucchini because they're super easy to prep. They don't take that long to prep. They're super easy to like always have in the fridge, right? They last pretty long and they're super versatile as well, right? And you want a lot of veggies because veggies are the cheat code to fat loss. Like when it comes to fat loss, you could all you want to do is be eating the same things, but you just want to add more veggies into your diet, right? Eating the same foods, just eating more veggies because the veggies are going to make you feel full faster while eating less calories, but you're also upping the nutrient intake, right? So you're going to feel full faster, you're going to be losing weight, you're going to be filled with more nutrients as well. Okay? So again, you like even type this down into the Zoom chat. Veggies are the cheat code for fat loss. Okay? Don't forget it. So next thing is fruits. So you always want to choose 4 fruits. So the ones I always go for are frozen mangoes, bananas. Bananas are super cheap. A whole bunch is like $2. Oranges is a good one, like those bags of tangerines or mandarins. Those are awesome. Those are an awesome snack. And pears, because I choose pears over apples. Okay. Just choose 4 go-to fruits. And yeah, these are pretty sweet. They're satisfying. They're good for snacks. They're good for smoothies. Um, they're better as snacks because if you have like a granola bar as a snack, your energy levels are going to drop down, boom, quickly. But for example, if you were to have fruits as a snack, your energy levels stay moderately up, right? They don't just spike down. If you eat more highly processed snacks, your energy spikes up and goes straight down again. Okay. So, but fruits don't do the same thing. Fruits do something different where they keep you energized throughout the day longer. And these are the snacks that you want to go for. Okay. They also make you feel full faster as well. Very similar to veggies. And they're full of nutrients as well. This is why fruits are the best dessert to have and snack to have. Okay. So 5 veggies, 4 fruits. Okay. Number 3 is meats. Okay. So my go-to meats, I just keep it simple. Chicken breast or chicken thigh, boneless, skinless. And then extra lean ground beef and basa fillets. That's what I usually get for meats. You don't have to overthink it. Just get 3 meats that you always go for. Okay. So even write this down, like have it in your notes, like make your own list starting now. Like just choose 5 veggies. Just choose 4 fruits. Just choose 3 meats. Okay. Don't oversimplify. You don't have to overthink when you're at the grocery store. You just get in, get out. And that's what you need to do in order to prep your fridge properly. So you don't have to overthink about like what you're eating. Okay. You can also change the proteins if you want based on your cultural preferences as well. Um, Even right now, like I'm on a pork phase, so I eat pork right now. Because A lot of Filipino dishes are pork heavy, right? So that's what I eat. But it could always change. But just don't like overcomplicate it. For me, it's always like chicken breast or chicken thigh, lean ground beef, pasta fillets, super easy to prep and cook. And it doesn't take that long to cook. Okay. Um, Next one is some starchy carbs. Okay. So I have two go-to ones. It's potatoes. Any potato doesn't really matter. And rice. For breakfast, I like to have toast. So these are the two toasts that I have, or two breads that I have. The Silver Hills one that my wife likes, and this Summer Harvest one, which is like a high in protein bread. So like two slices would be like 14 grams of protein. A lot, right? But yeah, pretty much it's simple. Like you need carbs in order to work out and to boost your mood. Again, a lot of females always think carbs are the enemy. They're not the enemy. You need them to like in order to function, right? So the thing about carbs, it's like it's very easy to eat a ton of carbs without getting full from them. So again, you need carbs in order to function and in order to keep the mood up as well. So the carbs I always go for, rice. Since I'm Filipino, I'll never give up rice. And potatoes because I like fries sometimes. I like to air fry these fries and then sprinkle them with like some truffle seasoning over it or like whatever seasoning that you want, right? It just tastes so much better and like less makes me less guilty when I eat these air fried potatoes versus like a McDonald's fry or like a Dairy Queen fry or just like fries in general. Okay. And for bread, I usually go for some sort of high protein bread. Sometimes I like my white bread as well. Um, but yeah, the high protein bread is always going to be a bit more expensive. But again, I feel less guilty eating it with my Nutella. Okay. So are the sauces that I usually go for. So these sauces are pretty much going to be your base for your high protein sauces that you're going to make at home. So I always have like Greek yogurt or cottage cheese in the fridge. It's always going to be the base for my sauces. It's kind of like the mayo, like the high protein mayo that I have in my fridge, right? And you can make healthy, high protein sriracha mayo with just Greek yogurt and sriracha. There you go, right? Or you can use the Greek yogurt as a quick dessert with like Greek yogurt, um, some frozen fruit, right? Like sometimes I'll make like this Greek yogurt, frozen mangoes, and a sprinkle of cinnamon and honey as like a dessert for myself, right? Other sauces I like to keep in the fridge are ranch, hummus. They're honestly super great to have like with sliced cucumbers, carrots, veggies. Super low in calories. They're gonna make you feel full faster, and you get your snack fix, right? So these are a must, like the Greek yogurt and the cottage cheese. And the cottage cheese, sometimes I like to get like tortilla chips and like dip them and eat like that, right? But it's also like a good way to make your scrambled eggs a bit more high protein as well, right? Add more cottage cheese. So yeah, these two things are honestly super versatile. Please have them in your fridge. Please, please, please. Right? So treats, always. Treats are a must. Like if you don't have any treats in your fridge, good luck to you on your fat loss journey. You are honestly going to fail in your first 2 weeks or your first month or whatever, right? If you're eating like a robot, you're not going to see any differences in your weight, in your habits, everything, right? We need to be having these because they're fun. They make fat loss more exciting. Like we're human, we enjoy treats, right? I'd honestly, if I were on a fat loss journey, I'd give up if I knew that I wasn't able to have ice cream until I lost all the weight, right? But remember, like everything is healthy, just in moderation. So the treats that you always go for are Haagen-Dazs ice cream. I always get these Filipino chips. Crispy mini chips are super good if you're on a fat loss journey. Jello is super low in calories as well. Nutella is a must. Always have that with some food or with some toast. Okay. So my challenge for you now is to do this. Okay. So this is how you're going to fix your fridge in under 48 hours. So number one is you want to purge. Okay, so get rid of the expired impulse buys. Um, get rid of the maybe I'll eat this someday foods. Clean it out. Expire, like toss the expired stuff, toss the leftovers that you'll never eat. Anything you bought just in case that's been sitting there for weeks. Okay, that's usually like the highly processed stuff. Get rid of that stuff. Okay. Number two is you want to restock. Okay, so use my list from my last slide. Pick at least two items from each category and build your version of a fridge that makes fat loss simple. Okay. Number three is to just prep two things. So for me, it's always going to be rice and it's always going to be some chicken. So don't overwhelm yourself. Just prep one of those two. And you'll feel like fat loss is going to be automatic when you have at least those two things in. And you're going to like be less likely to do the Uber Eats or the Door Dashes or whatever bullshit that you like order like fast food. Okay. So that's your challenge for now. Here's a quick recap. So remember, your fridge is the environment that actually builds the momentum or breaks it. Like when you nail this part, everything else, like the tracking, the workouts, the cravings, are going to be 10 times easier. Okay, so there's a quote that I have that I always show my clients. The quote is, if it's readily available, you're bound to eat it. So you got to get rid of all that bullshit in your fridge, fill it up with nutrient-dense foods, right? But also save some room for like foods that you enjoy. Like for me, it's always Nutella. For me, it's always like the Clover chips. For me, it's always the Haagen-Dazs ice cream. Okay? So, few notes. Um, your success lives in small daily decisions. Number one. Number two is your fridge is a tool, not a temptation. So make sure your fridge is stocked with a lot of good nutrient-dense foods. Number three is you want to let your environment work for you, not against you. And I guarantee you 100% fat loss is going to be 100 times easier. Okay? So, anyways, any questions? Feel free to leave it in the Zoom chat right now. If not, just put an all good in the Zoom chat, and I'll wait a few seconds. So, 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 so. Cool. Yeah, everyone's all good. No questions. Cool. If you feel stuck, again, feel free to DM me personally on Instagram or Telegram. And yeah, I'll help you out. Anyways, that's pretty much it. Peace out. See you guys next week.